Pandey from EasyLib Software Private Limited. Today's topic of the webinar is going to be the frequently asked questions in EasyLib software. How to use the EasyLib software. We are going to go over about 200 plus questions in this webinar, and it's going to be kind of a rapid fire question answer. And if you have any questions that you want to ask, feel free to post it onto the chat message, and at the end of this webinar, we are going to take up those and I'll be happy to answer those. So let me go over here one by one. So I'm hoping you are able to see the presentation. So okay, so let me go over here. The first module that I would like to take is this equations module. What are the questions that you have over here? What is the first one? The first question that I'm going to answer is what is the equation module in EasyLib? Acquisition module deals with purchasing the books over here. So the way that you can access the acquisitions module in EasyLib is that once you log into your particular site over here, you are going to click on the AQ module or the acquisitions module under this library software. As you see over here, this is all based on how much access you have got. And here I'm going to go to the L series where there is an acquisitions module over here. This deals with the requisition of the books by the faculty and the students, and you will be able to see the list of the books that they have requested, create the RFP, that is request for a proposal, send to the vendors for quotation, have the vendors enter the data by themselves, or you can import the data, then do a quotation comparison, issue a purchase order, and then once they submit the invoice along with the material, you catalog those books and then accept that goods receipt node GRN. So that is the whole flow of this equations module, and it's one of the very important modules in EasyLib, and we urge you to use it if you have not already been using it. So the next question is, how do I create a new purchase request? That's very simple over here. When the students log in over here, they will be able to request a book over here. So when they log into the OPAC, there is an option for them to request a book. And if the book is not already there, they should be able to put the type, author, titles, subject, all those details, and then request, and the librarian will be able to see it in the queue. The third question, what is the difference between request, order, and invoice? A request is what the user has placed. It's only a request. So the librarian will be able to see that request. Then he or she will be able to create an order. That is a purchase order. So that purchase order you are going to send to the vendors actually for supplying the items. Invoice is something the vendor will send it to you. Okay. All right. The fourth question, can the faculty and students raise book requests? Absolutely yes. The students and the faculty have access to the EasyLib software. They use the same link, and when they click on login, there's an option for them to log in as a student or a faculty, and they can click on that and they'll be able to request that particular book, whatever they want. How do I approve or reject a purchase request? It's again very simple. The librarian will be able to see the list of the books that are requested over here. So the books that are requested will come over here. The librarian will be able to identify the one that he or she would want to purchase, and if it is approved, then she will be able to add it to the request for purchase, that is the RFP queue. And if it is not going to be approved, then you can put a remark saying that it is not approved, and then send it back saying that, okay, this book is already existing, so we are not going to purchase it. How do I create and manage vendors and suppliers? Again, very simple over here. So here in the EasyLib, there is a setup option here. You can choose the setup option. In the setup options, you are going to see an option for entering the new vendors over here. You can simply add the vendor. You can add vendor's name, address, phone number, and all those details, and enter the data. And this email is very important because this gives them, that is the vendor, ability to log into EasyLib software to see what all purchase orders are there, the RFP, request for a proposal, have been assigned to that specific vendor, and they'll be able to enter the quotation prices for that. Okay, submit a quotation online. All right, the next question is, how can I maintain multiple vendors for the same book? See, the one book cannot have multiple vendors, but if you have 5 copies of the multiple copies of the book, you can have a few vendors for different books. Okay, the same title, a few books supplied from one vendor, another set of copies supplied from another vendor. It's possible. How do I track vendor performance? Again, it's very simple over here. Here you have got, as soon as you get the order over here, you are going to be able to catalog enter the books. You are going to do the catalog, and then you will be able to compare the date of purchase versus date of PO versus date of invoice. So that way there is a ability for you to track how many days it is between purchase order date and the invoice date. That way you can track the vendor's performance. Can I maintain vendor-wise pricing history? This pricing history, definitely it's related part of the quotations. So the vendors can put the quotation, and if you want them to revise the prices and submit, they will be able to submit another quotation, and that will be the second quotation over here. So that way you can maintain the history as well. How do I create a purchase order? It's again very simple over here. You go to the acquisitions module. There is an option here. If I go to the acquisitions module here, so the acquisitions module I had already logged in somewhere, right? So in the acquisitions module, there is an option called create a purchase order over here, and you will be able to create a purchase order in this right away. Okay. Can I combine multiple requests into one order? Absolutely, yes. What you can do is you can see the list of the books that are requested, combine multiple items into one purchase order, and you can select how much ever you want over here, and then you can move them to the selected RFP, request for proposal, and convert that request for proposal into a PO. How do I track pending and completed orders? Again, it's very simple. There is an option for tracking what is the status of a purchase order. PO header you will see over here, and here one option it says that okay, whether the PO has been is it in a draft mode, or is it submitted, is it partially supplied or fully supplied and closed. So can I modify or cancel a purchase order? Absolutely yes. Once you send the PO, you still want to need to talk to the vendor because they might have shipped already the item, right? So you just confirm that, saying that okay, this item is not shipped, then you will be able to go and change the PO status as cancelled and then leave it. Okay, so you inform the particular vendor about the PO status. How do I define and manage the budgets? It's again very simple over here. There is an option to manage the budgets. So there are different kinds of budgets that you are going to have for your library. You can maintain it by each financial year. Okay, so you can maintain, there is something called a source over here, management, AICT, donations, all those things. You will be able to assign the different amounts that you are going to receive in that particular financial year by that particular source. So once you do that, you will be able to allocate the budget but to the different departments. Actually, suppose you have got about 20 lakh rupees, you can divide it under the different department. Anatomy departments, you are going to give 1 lakh, physiology another 1 lakh, physics another 1 lakh, and all that thing. Can I allocate budget into department wise? Yes, the answer is yes. We just covered that part. Then how do I track the budget utilization? That's a very interesting thing over here. There is an option over here which will help you see, okay, for which department, how many items you have ordered. And so that way you can go and get a report saying that, okay, this is the amount of the budget that you have allocated for this department, and this is the worth of the items that you have issued to the vendors to supply the items as a part of the purchase order. So that way you know, okay, how much is the budget, how much is the PO has been issued, how much has already been supplied, how much has been given to them already. The complete process you will be able to track within EasyLib. What happens if budget exceeds during ordering? That's an interesting thing over here. Quite often the budgets are manually verified, and if it's something exceeds over here, EasyLib gives information saying that you are exceeding that particular budget, but it will still allow you to place the order and then get the budget at a later point of time. How do I record invoice details? It's again very simple over here. There is something called a goods receipt note over here, the invoice receipt. So here you are going to have a GRN header. That's a goods receipt note over here. So you can go and add this. This is the invoice number, and this is the PO number based on which PO you have issued. Enter all the details, and of course, definitely the invoice will have the different invoice lines over here. So you can add this and maintain the data of invoices and the lines. Can I handle partial deliveries and invoices? Absolutely yes over here, because the meaning of the goods receipt note is that you might have ordered 100 books. Let's say total copies is 500. Okay, but the vendor might have supplied, okay, let's say 50 books, 50 titles, and he might have supplied about 300 copies. So that means another 50 items are yet to be supplied, another 200 books are yet to be supplied, right? So you can track this over the different GRN, and you get to the report saying that, okay, how much is the part of the GRN, how much is part of the PO, what is the difference, and then what is the gap, and so on. You should be able to manage all that. How do I match invoice with the purchase order? So, okay, that's again part of the GRN versus the PO header. You'll be able to match against that. There is a field here in this GRN itself. There is a PO number because a GRN cannot be created without a purchase order. That's how you link it. How does the equation integrate with cataloging? It's a very simple, straightforward thing. So once the vendor supplies you the different items, they are all part of the GRN. So you should be able to take that books that are supplied from the vendor and you will be able to import into the catalog directly over here. If they have given an Excel, very simple Excel over here. So in the catalog module, there is an option to import the books over here. Import option. Okay, so import the catalog data. Take the data whatever that the vendor has given actually. So you can take, they download the template, or you can map different fields. You can give your own accession number, author, title, and all that thing. You put it and then import that particular book over into the list of the books into your catalog. Can catalog records be auto created from purchases? This is something that's going to be that's a part of the enhancement right now. As of now, it requires manual upload. How does the acquisition integrate with the finance model? That's an interesting thing over here. We have built as a part of the Easy One application, we have built a complete finance module over here that deals with the account codes, these chart of accounts, the bank statements, and many more. It's an exhaustive thing. It's by itself. So what we have done is that the account, the GRN code, once the GRN is given, you'll be able to pass an entry saying that, okay, so and so amount has been raised an invoice from the vendor and it will come into the account payable, and then one issue from the bank, then there is a reconciliation. You can do that. That itself is a huge demo. I'll take it in a separate webinar altogether. How does the acquisition integrate with the finance model that we saw? Okay, what reports are available in acquisitions module? There are many reports available over here in this acquisitions module. One of the report is the list of the books requested. Second is the POs that you have got it over here. Third is the PO lines you have got it. Then there is a GRN related report that tells you what invoices have been raised from the vendors. Then there is a GRN lines that tells you what items have been supplied to you. Okay, these are some of the vendors. Then there is a more advanced reports like, PO versus the GRN, and then there is a difference in the comparison. All right. Can I generate vendor-wise and department-wise reports? Yes, you should be able to generate, and then you can go into the list of the PO or the GRN and then generate that particular report for the vendor. Okay. So this is how do I track pending approvals and orders. So again, this is, in the purchase order section over here. So purchase order, what you can do is from the library point, you will be able to create a purchase order. Then use our service desk module to attach that PO to and send it to your higher authority for approval. That is how you can track the approvals actually. Can I import purchase data in bulk? Absolutely yes. The very simple report is, the import is available. You should be able to import that data. Can I manage subscriptions, journal, magazines? Absolutely yes. So that is covered in detail in the periodicals module over here. So what you can do is again in the periodical module, you can simply go here, and for each of the periodicals, there is a subscription entry here. In this, you are going to put what is the subscription number, what is the periodical subscription number, subscription start date, end date, number of copies, vendor PO number, vendor amount, and all that thing. You can maintain it over here, or you can also create a purchase order in the acquisitions module and track from there itself. How do I manage the gifts and donations? This one, so you can bypass this acquisitions module over here, directly go into the acquisitions, directly go into the accession register screen. Okay, so go over here. There is something called the category of the book. Okay, or there is a source of the book over here. So you can go into the new book accession register. I'm going to go here. And there is a source. How did you procure this particular book? Whether it's a gift or donation, you can maintain over here through the source you can maintain here. And when it is donated book, you can create who is the donor as one of the vendors and then asset. Okay. Or sometimes if you want to group multiple donors over here, create one vendor saying that okay, donated books, and add all the donated books under that particular vendor. Can I track expected delivery timeline? There is something that is going to be coming up over here in future. I know there is an additional in the PO itself. You can maintain something like, when is the delivery date expected, but there is an additional thing if you want, definitely we can work with you on that front. There is an advanced module I will tell you about here. Within EasyLib, there is a service desk and then sales desk module that helps you track all the interaction between your organization and the particular vendor's organization. So if they have communicated certain items, you'll be able to track over here in the software itself. So this was the equations module. Let me now go into the catalog module over here. Cataloging module. I know I am running fast over here. Definitely, if you have questions, I'll be able to happy to answer those questions in detail individually or take the separate session. Okay. But in the interest of the time, I'm going to run fast. I think you can definitely see this a few times and then define which of them you need more help, or you go and play it around in the system, so that way you will be able to get more answers by yourself apart from the what I have told you. Okay, in the catalog module, how do I create a new book entry in EasyLib? That's a very simple over here. You will go into the catalog module. In the catalog module, this is the very first basic screen you have got. Here there is a accession number, here the title, author, subject. This is all as per the simplistic form that we have got over here. Earlier, you were using the pen and paper and the notebook for capturing the accession data in the accession register. And now when you have got the computers, right? So we have made it keep it very, very simple over here. The title information and then the copy information. Title information deals with ISBN, the title, author, subject, call number, class number, and all that thing, which is at the title number. Okay, at the title. If there is some 10 copies, all the 10 copies will have the same information. And on the other hand, each of the 10 copies may have been procured on a different date by the different vendors from different sources. Some of them may be donated, some of them may be purchased from the AICT fund, some of them may be from the management fund. You will be able to track all that information, and some of them may have been purchased last year, some of them this year, some of them 2 years before, and the prices could all be different. So for all the 10 copies, you will be able to maintain the data separately and easily over here itself. Okay, so the next one is there is another method. How do I create a new book entry in EasyLib? So one is directly you can enter, and if you already have an Excel form, especially the ones who are coming to EasyLib first time from the different software, you just simply give the Excel to us, and then we will help you import the data as long as the Excel is in the format. The format that we have suggested, it's a pretty straight, simple format. You can use this format, or in case you have your own format, no problem. We'll be able to help you import as per that particular format by mapping the fields. Only one thing that you want to make sure that you have got to maintain the consistency. That is very, very, very important. If you have got the accession, don't put below books or something like that. Never, never, never put that. You should be in a sequence. That accession column should have only the accession numbers, title number, title, subtitle, and all that. Whatever is the red, it's mandatory. Whatever is the black is not mandatory. It's an optional field. You can enter or you can leave it blank, and the software will go and import the data, thousands of records at a time over here. Okay. So the next question we have got is, so let me close this. So the next question is, what are the mandatory fields while cataloging a book? That was very simple. Whatever is in the red color, that is the mandatory part, and the one that is not mandatory field is in the black color over here. So okay. So if I go to the cataloging module, right? Here, whatever is compulsory, that is, there is a little asterisk star over here. Title is mandatory. Author, there is a On the other hand, this volume, series, and language, they are not mandatory. So that's why they don't have the star. But here, if it is a little star over here, that means it's a mandatory field. How do I assign accession numbers? Can it be automatic? Absolutely yes. The automatic accession number generation is possible. Here in EasyLib, you can define the format of the accession numbers: 4 character, 5 character, 6 character, whatever you want, with the prefix, suffix, numeric, alphanumeric, and so on. And once you define the format, you give okay, saying that generate the 10 copies. You give the first accession number, it will generate the next 10 accession numbers for you, and you'll be able to catalog all the 10 records at a time with one click button. What is the difference between title, subtitle, and series fields? That's very simple over here. So suppose I am carrying this book over here, Ogilvy I'm advertising. This is written by Ogilvy, who is the star of this advertising industry. This is the title. Here, if you look at it, the art of selling from the most successful ad man of all time. So that is the subtitle of the book. And series, in case Ogilvy has come up with multiple books, he can maintain the series over here. So you can add that into different series. Okay, how do I enter multiple authors for a single book? Very simple over here. Here you have the Stephen Covey. You can put the comma over here and or semicolon. Add author 2 over here and then author 3 and so on. How do I catalog edited books versus authored books over here? So what you can do is there is something called an editor over here in this particular screen itself. Here, any book that has been edited by somebody, you should be able to edit the book over here. Sahana, can you please move them? Okay, next, how do I select or define the correct document type? It's very simple over here. Sahana, can you please mute? Okay, so here you have got okay, so here we have got the document type. So there is what we have done is that the books and non-books over here separately here. So books means the general books, whatever you have got. Non-books is audio cassette, CD, and all those things. So that you should be able to, in the non-book expression register, you will be able to maintain what is the type of that particular non-book item. Okay. Can I save a partially filled catalog record and complete it later? Absolutely yes. What you can do is the mandatory fields like accession number, title, author, these things, and the vendor, from which vendor you purchase, and the basic 4 or 5 fields you should be able to enter. Then save it. The data is saved, then you can come back and update it at a later point of time. There is one option that I want to tell you over here in this. So once you enter, let's say 10 copies of this particular book, and if you want to enter all the, modify the data of all the 10 over here, what you can do is you can go and choose any one of this particular book, and there here you can say, okay, modify all copies. So when you do that, right, it is going to modify all copies at a time. So it's going to define, modify all the 10 copies that you have got over here. In this case, there is something like, how many, 264 books, right? If all the 264 are from this particular vendor, if I click on modify, it will modify only that particular accession number. If I click on modify all copies, all the 264 are going to be modified over here. Of course, when it comes to the copyright, copy by default itself is always same for all the 264 copies. You don't have to press modify all copies. You just click on modify. The title is modified for all those, at a time, on that particular title, which has 254 copies. Okay, how do I avoid duplicate entries while cataloging? This is a very interesting thing over here. So what we recommend is that when you find a particular book over here that has come in the library, to so and so book, you have got the 7 copies. And then if you want to get one more vital clue over here, you just go over here and say, you can say there is pick up one of the book that has, for which extra copies you have got now, 7 copies are there. There is one option called add more copies. You say what is the last accession number, pick up one of that and put the next accession number. And okay, and how many copies you are adding, and you just add it and the books will get added over there. Does EasyLib support Mark 21 format? Absolutely yes. What we have done in EasyLib is that, okay, so we understand that Mark 21 is a little bit complex, 100, 200, $141, $8, B subfield, all those things are there. So what we have done is we have made it very, very simple for you. You enter the data in regular English, title, author, subject, because earlier you were maintaining the accession register, now you are maintaining the screen. So the transition shouldn't be too much different, right? So what we have done is that we have given in the screen very simple to enter, but in the background we convert that particular data into the mark format. What it does is that 082 A means class number, 245 A means title number, and all that. This is as per the mapping. And tomorrow, if the mark standards change, I know there is already a discussion. I know RDA is the new standard. If the RDA comes up with a new tag, no problem. You should be able to save as per the RDA. And if you want to use any other format like a Dublin code, no problem. You can map as per that particular standard within EasyLib. How do I import, export mark records? So what we have done in EasyLib is that because most of our customers have preferred the Excel, so we have made it like a very easy to export the data in Excel format. You can go into the customized report over here, okay? And the customized report, you can choose this customized report. There is an option over here. You can choose whatever fields you want. You should be able to export that particular data. There are a couple of customized reports. There is one more customized report, which is in a slightly different format here. Okay, in this customized report, so the customized report catalog books, if I go over here, I can choose whatever the condition that I want over here, put it over here, and then click on print as Excel, choose the fields, and then export that particular data. Okay, and as far as the mark is concerned, there is a little option over here. You should be able to export in the mark format as well. How do I import, export mark record? What we recommend our users is that because many of our customers have been using the Excel, so there is a tool that is available over here which will convert the mark data into the Excel, and we should be able to import that Excel record very easily within EasyLib. How do I assign DDC numbers? It's a very simple thing over here. What we have done is that when you become our customer, we have already loaded we usually load the first 1,000 entries of the DDC by default into the system over here. So that means, but anything below is copyrighted, so we will not be able to load it. But definitely the subject 1, subject 2, all that things you can manually add it. And in the bracket, there is something like applied solid mechanics, 620.105, applied solid mechanics 620.105. All that you can maintain over here. As per the DDC, the moment you choose this, right, automatically what happens is that this particular the class number or the call number gets modified as per that particular accession number that has been, sorry, the subject that has been chosen. Can I system suggest classification numbers automatically? This is something that is we are working on an advanced one. As of now, what we have done is that if you choose the subject, it will give the class number. But can it go and find out arguably an advertising? So you should go and find out what is the DDC number or the class number for the advertising. That's the next step, and that's going to come over here in the given. How do I manage subject headings? Again, it's very simple. There is a subject heading master over in EasyLib. You can go into the setup over here. Okay, so setup, go into the additional parameters, which are the libraries. Within that library, you can maintain the different subjects here. Okay, so subjects 1, 2, 3, 4. You can literally maintain like a tree over here. You can maintain, let's say, chemistry. Under that chemistry, organic chemistry, physical chemistry, inorganic chemistry, and under organic chemistry, you can maintain multiple things over here. The different, just exactly like a DDC, you can maintain the tree structure within EasyLib itself. Okay, so how do I standardize publisher names across all records? That's also very simple over here. Publisher records, if I go over here, publisher, if I click publisher, again, just the way that you have maintained the different vendors, right? There's an option to maintain all the different publishers over here. So that way, there is not much mistake that you are going to have. You can have the simple publishers. And let me tell you, there is one more we have got over here, which is to merge those publishers, because we have seen that in some of these, many of the libraries, we had got things like, S. Chand and Company, S. Chand and Company, S. Chand and Company Limited versus LTD. So same vendor, there are some 5, 6 entries there. We have given a merge vendors also over here. So merge publishers, if you click on it, it's going to tell which of the vendors are kind of duplicates, and I think this is a multi-language, so that's why it is showing like this. If you think that this addition Weasley, these are same, you should be able to choose that, and then you can click on the merge, and you will be able to merge that particular data here. How do I handle ISBN validation? It's very simple over here. You can go and then put this ISBN, click on this, get the data from Union Catalog. EasyLib will go and connect it to the Union Catalog maintained by Google, and then open books, and then get the data and then put it over here. So most of the time, if the ISBN is correct and the ISBN has already been entered into the international registry, you should be able to get it. And most of these US books, right, absolutely no problem. We don't have an issue. But for some vendors, we are seeing a little difficulty where the ISBN is there, but it is not in the master record. So that's if it is as long as in the master record, it should be able to fetch it automatically, thereby saving you time and effort. Okay, what is the difference between title master and copy record? That's an interesting thing over here. Title master, so we maintain the title of that particular title, author, volume, subject, soft copy. These are at the title level. Copy is the one that tells about, okay, which vendor supplied it, how much price you paid, what is the purchase date, what is the category of the book, whether it's an issue book, reference book, and all that. That is the copy title. That is the difference you have got. How do I add multiple copies of the same book? It's very simple over here. You can go and click on add more copies and then add multiple copies of the same book over here. Or when you are doing the first time cataloging, there it asks you how many entries, how many books you have got it. If you have got 5, you click on 5, automatically generate the accession number for the next 5 books over here. Can each copy have a different price for a location? Can each copy have a different price or location? I think the question itself is incorrect. Can each title can have a different price or location? Because this is one copy, it has got one price, right? So, but if I have got 3 copies, one I could have bought from one vendor, another vendor, the price would be different. So definitely the same title can have multiple prices, multiple locations. And if it is one copy, you go and there is a price over here, you keep it in one location. How do I handle volumes 1, 2, and 3 and all that? So it's again very simple here. You have got here volume. You can maintain it here, the title, author, subject, and all that volume. And volume 1 and volume 2 are going to be 2 different books, right? So this is volume number, the volume 2, volume 3 over here. But when you search over, right, it will show you volume 1, 5 copies, volume 2, 6 copies, volume 3, 7 copies. All that is available. Okay. How do I catalog multi-part books or sets here? So that's again very interesting. What you can do is, again, you simply go here, 7 habits of highly effective, part 1, part 2, part 3. That is how you can catalog that. How do I manage the reference copies versus the lending copies? It's very simple over here. Suppose this book, you have got the 10 copies here, 5 copies are in the issuable, you maintain the issuable over here. And if there are 2 copies in the reference, you put it in the 2 in the reference. And if 2 of them have been sent to the department, you can put it in the department section. Okay, that's how you maintain it. How do I import the bulk using the Excel CSV? That's again very simple here. I went and showed that import screen over here. You just give the Excel and then you map the fields. What is in EasyLib? What should what goes into EasyLib versus what you have got in the Excel, map it, click enter, thousands of records will be imported at a time. What is the required template format for bulk upload? Yes, definitely there's the template that I showed you over here, the title, author, and all that red one was the mandatory. The black colored ones were not mandatory, but let me tell you, even if the format is slightly different, no issues, we should be able to map it. Can I import the mark data or data from another software? Absolutely yes. Many of the orders that we are getting, I'm very happy to state that they are coming from another software actually. Okay, so it's a very proven method over here. Once you give the order, we'll go find out how to get the data from your existing software, or you give the data in the Excel format, we'll be able to simply data, or you can give it in the mark format. We'll be able to migrate it into EasyLib as well. How do I handle errors during the bulk import? It's a very good question over here. So when I go into the import screen over here in the catalog module, right? So there is an option, okay, when you import 1,000 records, it goes to record 1 imported successfully, record 2 imported successfully, and record number 101, there is an error. So that way you can go to 101 and then fix it. And there is another enhancement that we have in it last year. Those of you who are in the EasyLib 8.4 are able to see that provides you ability to even validate before you even click on import. So that way, before you even try to import, you know what's wrong with that. Can I upload existing records via bulk upload? Absolutely yes. If you got so many of the books which are available over here in your library, if you have not entered the data for whatever reason into the EasyLib directly, you can simply import that. Okay. All right. To reduce the time, what we recommend is that you directly enter in EasyLib, and if you have got a lot of books like 1,000 or a few thousand, then we can use the Excel. Otherwise, it's much simpler to directly enter in EasyLib because if there are 10 copies, right, you simply go and enter one record and say 10 copies. EasyLib itself will create 10 copies. You don't have to build an Excel with the 10 rows and then try to import that data. How do I deduplicate reports after import? So there is an option within EasyLib over here. So merge, again, there is a merge over here. Merge titles, group by title, author, etc. It is going to find out what all, you have got the 3 copies, yearbook of the cardiology 2022. There are 3 titles over here, the title, author, subject, call number, class number, everything is same. So the EasyLib is telling you that there is 3 copies and there is an option for merging over here. You click on merge and then it will merge those 3 copies and then give you 1 title. So that's why EasyLib is intelligent to find out what are the duplicates, merge them. How do I assign barcode numbers? It's very simple over here because barcode number is your accession register, right? Accession number, right? That itself will be the barcode for you. How do I print the spine labels and barcodes? And very simple over here, you can here we have got a whole new module here, barcode module itself in this. Barcode and ID cards, I click on it. Here you have got the different formats of the barcodes over here. You can choose what is the accession number over here, what is the range. And if you want accession number, call number at the bottom, you can click on it. It's going to generate the PDF of this accession barcodes for you. You can simply print on free adhesive that we can supply it for you in 4x12. This is what I'm displaying here, or 8x3, or much larger, much smaller. You can print it and then paste it over here. Similarly, there is an option to print the spine labels as well within EasyLib. How do I print spine label? Okay, that we covered. Can I define label format? Absolutely yes. Here, this is the sheet description, number of titles, institution name, whether you want the call number, location you want. If you don't want anything, you can leave it blank. How many copies you want to print? What is the first name on the title? The first one, what do you want at the top? What should be the second row here? All that thing you can customize within. How do I assign a book location rack shelf? It's very simple over here. So usually you are all following the assign of the bookshelf based on the class number, or within EasyLib itself in the accession register, there is an option for you to enter the location here. So there is a location field somewhere here. You can enter this here or somewhere in the, you can put it somewhere. What is the location here? So yeah, location BLR FGST RC001, Bangalore Whitefield Library RC001, track number 001, something like that. You can put it. And just for your information, if there is any field that is not within a part of EasyLib, but you still want to capture, then the custom 3, custom 4 available, you can add that data as well. Can I track the book condition? Absolutely, yes. What you can do is you can maintain the category of the book over here, issue book, reference book. One of the category you can maintain is the book damage book. Okay, maintain that condition of the book, or use one of the custom fields to make additional notes about that book. How do I tag books as reference only? Absolutely simple. You go to the category of the book, again here reference book, and the issue, return, renewal, all that is going to be based on the category. You can say, okay, so and so person, a general student can borrow 5 issuable books, he can borrow, let's say, 1. Okay, or something like that. You can put it, or you can say, okay, no reference book he can borrow, but he can borrow overnight. So can I take PDF for ebooks to catalog records? Absolutely yes. Over here, there is an option here. Linked items here. You can click on linked items. These are the items that are already linked with that particular book. If you want to add a new ebook, there are 2 options here. Plus link items. You can add an additional URL. What is going to be, yeah. See, this is one book to another book. If you want, you can add it. Okay. This particular book linked with another one, you can add it. There is an option to link URL. That means if the publisher has given, Auguel, Mather has given, okay, for additional information, so to so and so website, what you can do, you can link that website over here. And if the vendor has given you a PDF copy, you can show in, there is an image option here. There is an option to even upload this entire PDF copy itself over here as a part of that particular book over here. So, however, what we recommend is that if you have got a lot of soft copies of that particular book, we recommend you to put it as a part of the institutional repository or the digital library, because that is totally reserved for the digital material. However, if you want physical materials and then digital materials to be linked to each other, no problem. Use this particular field over here. You can add the image as well as the soft copy, PDF copy. You can attach it and upload it over here. How do I add cover images to books? Okay, there is a cover images you can put over here and then it will get added here, one cover image. Can I link external resources? Absolutely, we covered that part here. Already the link URL part we covered. How do I catalog thesis and dissertation? That's again very simple thing over here in the thesis and dissertations. Non-book register has got multiple options here. If you have got the physical copy of the thesis, right? You can choose, okay, this is a thesis and then you choose that thesis and add that. Dissertation, you can add it. And on the other hand, if you want, you can also create in the digital library portion. I'm going to cover when you come to the digital library. There you can add a thesis or the dissertation and whatever the PDF copy that the students have given, you just simply upload it over there. Okay. Again, just like what you give an accession number here for a physical thesis, right? Physical thesis, physical dissertation. There you give an ebook number for that particular thesis or the dissertation. And when the students search, that part also will be shown. That book also will be shown. Next question, can I manage multimedia items? Absolutely, yes. It's very simple over here. You just choose whatever the format of that book. Okay. How do I edit an existing catalog record? It's very simple. You can again go back to your main catalog screen here, put the accession number, okay, whatever you have got, and enter this. All the details will be fetched. You can enter the title copy, you can enter the copy details, you can enter the title details. If you want edit update at a time, all the copies of that book or one particular specific book. And by chance, in case this is okay, there are 5 titles, but by mistake you find that later point of time only 3 are copy of this book, but 2 are different books altogether. You can go to the one that you want to split it out. You can simply click on MSTN over here, make it as a separate title number. That will degroup that particular book from the main group over here. Go ahead and try it out. Can I track who created or edited a record? There is an option, last modified by, last edited is available within EasyLib 8.4. You should be able to see that. Is there a version history? Again, that's maintained over here. How do I merge duplicate titles? We covered that, right? There is a merge option over here. You will be able to merge the titles and then use that screen and merge all these multiple titles here. How do I delete the records? Safely, yes, you can delete the records here. There is an option to delete over here. It will clear from the records here. Only thing is that if the book is issued, you cannot delete it. If the moment you delete, you will also going to lose the history of who it was issued, when was it issued, returned, issued, returned, and all. That's what we recommend you. You just simply withdraw it. Okay. If the book is totally damaged and not going to be used anymore, but there is a history that you don't want to delete it, instead of deleting that book, you simply use that option called a withdraw over here. So that means the book will not show in the OPAC. Okay. And this withdrawn book, either you can discard it or put it in a separate shelf outside. Inside somewhere far inside the library. How do I correct wrong accession number? That's an interesting thing over here. If you have entered the data and later you find the accession itself is wrong, what you need to do is you definitely need to take the help of our team members, because it's not a very common scenario. Because once you enter the accession data, there could be issue written, right? So the entire history needs to be modified. So what we recommend is that if you have entered the wrong accession data, we recommend that you take the dump of this accession numbers, create a new file over here and upload that new file here, and the old accession data you withdraw it. So that way there is a history available and the new data is also fully available here. How do I search within a catalog? It's a very simple thing over here. There are multiple searches available. The students can search, and then in the OPAC script itself, there is an option for them to search it here, search the books. And as far as the librarian is concerned, there is a customized report over here. Within the customized report, the librarian will be able to search the books here. Okay, there are multiple options to search here. One is the customized book report. If I click on this, right? So again, I can choose the title, author, subject, column, class number, entry date. Okay, what did I purchase in the last 3 years in this department? No problem. You can put all these conditions and then search it. And as far as the students are concerned, they can go and then click on this title. They can search on the title, subject, column, number, class number, whatever they want. They can search over here, and the results will be shown over here. In the interest of covering a lot of questions, I'm going fast over here. I'm not actually giving the demo, but I'm just showing you pointer of how you can try it out. Why is a book not appearing in the search results? That's an interesting question. If the book is withdrawn, it's not going to show. The book is going to be in the database, but it's going to be in the withdrawn. That is why it's not going to show you. Can I create advanced filter? Absolutely, yes. I showed you, right? So here you can create this multiple different filters here, and or conditions you can put it. And there is one more condition that even the students can also search over here. Here, here you can say, okay, show me only the, let's say, books. Okay, under that, show me in this particular range, or you show me only the published by so and so publisher. You can put multiple. This is one of the things we have really made it very easy for you to put any condition that you want, get the report in any format that you want. How does OPAC search differ from the admin search? That's an interesting thing over here. The OPAC search is tailored for the students actually, so it's going to be little easier, little you can build what based on the students what they want. It's also going to track what the students have searched. Okay, because if some student is searching repeatedly one book and then that's not found, right? And the librarian should know that okay, so and so student is searching, it's not found. So you should be able to call, hey, sorry, you are searching or this book, this is not available. Do you want me to procure it? But on the other hand, when the librarian search, right, directly it can go into the customized search over here. There is no track, this is all your team, so we don't track who is searching what and all that. But that's the primary difference here. Okay, and of course, the librarian search has got multiple formats to export it. Okay, choose the field that you want, choose the format that you want. Whether you want it by group, all that thing you can choose it. Okay, that option is not available that much to the students. Maybe limited options. How does cataloging integrate with the acquisitions? Very simple. So when the book arrives in the GRN, goods receipts note, you just import into EasyLib here. There is one more option going to come over in the acquisitions. Click a button, it should directly catalog with the new accession number. Okay, so that's going to be there. Only little complexity is that the different libraries have the different formats. So that's why we're a little bit going slow on that automation part. Can I create catalog record from the purchase entries? Absolutely yes, you simply import it. How does cataloging link with the circulation? Of course, accession data is the one which will link to the circulation, and that is one. Second is all the entire the rules related to the circulation. Okay, who can borrow what book? That is dependent on the category of the book that you have got. So if you have 10 copies, right? 10 copies and then 6 copies, you have put it into the, let's say, the issuable books. Only those issuable books can be issued, right? The remaining reference copies need not be issued. So there is a member parameter here, and member parameter is dependent on 2 parts: book category. Okay. So now if I choose the general students over here, general student book category, book bank in-house, you can select, okay, how many books each can. This part, none book bank and all that thing, that is maintained as a part of the accession data. Okay. What happens if a record is not modified after issue? It's okay, no issue. It will maintain a history record. If the book is issued and you change the title, rare case, but it keeps a track. Okay, there is one more. But if today you have issued the book, it's under the issuable book. But once it issued, if you want to modify it as a reference book, It will not, it will allow you to modify. But next time, once it is returned, and then try, if the student wants to try to borrow the same book, it will say, oh, boss, it's already in the reference copy. It cannot be issued. It cannot be issued. Okay, how do I catalog books without ISBN? No problem, because there are so many books without ISBN, especially in the Indian context, right? Many of the books don't have, no problem. It's an optional field. If you have it, you can put ISBN, get the data, and then upload it. Upload or fetching the data, it's more accurate because, you know, there are no spelling mistake chances here, but you can enter the data. How do I handle very old books with incomplete data? That's an interesting thing. What we do is, there is an option. Suppose if you don't know who is the vendor, okay, that we don't know the vendor. You just choose. What we recommend is that you define one of the vendor as a vendor not identified, or a none, NONE. Choose that. Can I catalog newspapers and magazine? Absolutely, yes. Actually, the whole periodical section is dependent related to the, you know, it's on to track this periodicals. Of course, in the many of the libraries, it's used for tracking all the journals that you have got. But definitely, the same thing can be used for period magazines also, and these newspapers also, because all you do is, instead of saying that okay, this is the monthly one, here you choose, there is an option over here, frequency. Frequency, where is that? You will be able to, okay, instead of monthly, you'll say daily. That's all, as simple as that. Daily, that becomes a newspaper. Okay, how do I catalog? Okay, that one. Can I catalog newspapers? Okay, how do I catalog multilingual entry? That's an interesting thing. What we have done is that many of the fields within EasyLib, like a title, author, subject, already allows multilingual, Kannada, English, Hindi, whatever language you want, we can easily enter the data. How do I catalog donated books separately? No issues. What you do is, many of the libraries, what they do is they create a section called donated books over here. Okay, instead of having this accession number as 001, 2, 3, 4, and all that, they put many of them at D001, D002, that's one nomenclature. But most importantly, whether it's a donated book or whether it's a purchase book, it's all dependent on the source, not exactly on whether it's a D or a P or whatever you do. That's the data the way you want it. But the real source of information to find out whether the book is donated or purchased is the source, all of it in the accession. How do I handle withdrawn and discarded books? No problem over here. When the accession register is here, right? Catalog module, there is a whole bunch of things over here. The screen itself will tell you withdrawn books list over here. Because, you know, over the period, you might have withdrawn thousands of books. So that's why what we have given is, we have given the financial year by item type, by, you know, what all, you know, if you see over here, but let me choose by item type, okay? What all you have, withdrawn, no problem. You search the book here, no? It's going to show that data. Okay, this is the cataloging. I know it's how many questions? 60 of them. Okay. If there are many questions, more questions, you simply put it over here. I'll be able to answer. Okay, let me go into the member module here, because it's the most another next in the sequence. Okay, what is the member module management in EasyLib? Right now the time is 3:51. We are going to stretch it by another half an hour because a lot more things to be covered here. The call will go till 4:30 p.m. So here this module has got 26 questions, 27 questions. The first question is, what is the member management module in EasyLib? What we have done is, this is the anybody who is associated with your library is a member. It could be the faculty, it could be the library staff, it could be the students, it could be the visitor, it could be the donor, anybody who is a member. All the data, master data of these members, including the name, address, phone number, their photograph, email ID, everything you maintain over here. It's again accessing this is very simple here. You simply click on this menu, you are seeing this here. Here's master data. You will see all the data. You know, we have loaded the data of 22,300. Okay, so many of data we have loaded to test it out. And here you put your member data here, and then you maintain this. You just put anything. You will see all the fields are available, including the photograph. How do I add a new member? No problem. You just go here, choose what is the member type, what is the member profile, what is the type. A profile tells about what the professor, student, general student, and all that. Type tells typically the student or a faculty. You put a member ID over here. All the detail you click on add. If you have a photograph, you can even attach that. Add it. Simple. It's added. And there is an import screen also over here. There is a very simple import screen, just like we had in the catalog, right? You go to import over here, you have again, there is a download template. You can choose the template and then, or there is build your own Excel, map the fields, and then can easily import it. And of course, there is the ability to track, okay, how many imported, how many not imported, what are the errors, all that kind of logs also you will get here. What type of members can be created? Absolutely different types of members can be created, student, faculty, etc. It's all customizable, whatever format. If you want a research scholar, you add it. You want alumni, you can add it. You want donors, you add it. Well-wishers, you can add it. The general public, you can add it. The once in a while visitors, you add it. Anybody, you can add it. Even if you want to, let's say, guest lecturers, guest visitors, no problem. Create that. What are the mandatory fields for member registration? You know, the basic things that you would want: the name, the member ID, the name. That's it. That's what you want. Not much. Of course, it's better if you have the information like email, phone number, address, and all that, because you can implement SDI, selective dissemination of information based on the student's preference. You can send an email to the students, or you can send an circulation alert. You can send a reminder message. You can send them information from your library. You can add them to the group. So that's why email is recommended. But what is most important? Basically the member ID, the member name. What is the subscription date? What is the expiry date of the subscription? What is the status? Those 5-6 things are there, which are mandatory for the members. How do I define member categories? This is again depends on your library. Here we don't call it as a category within EasyLib, we call it as a profile. Okay, it's a member profile. Lecturer, professor, assistant lecturer, they are different profiles. Can different categories have different borrowing rules? Absolutely yes. The entire rule of how the borrowing takes place is based, in fact, on the category of the student or the profile of the students actually. So when you go into the circulation, right? Here, general student, MBA, librarian, professor, how many books they can borrow? It's all dependent on what is their profile. And the second condition is the book category. This is a combination of book-related category, the member. Based on that, you can maintain. So let me even a little bit, if I go further down over here, there is an additional, how many books they can borrow at the max, how many days they can keep, what is the fine they have got, how many days they can reserve it, all of that. And when it comes to the non-book items, how many they can take, when they have to return, how many days they can keep, all that is possible in the, and in the member parameter, and there is a surcharge also over here. So, how do I assign a category to a member? It's very simple over here. When you are cataloging, not cataloging, when you are entering the member data, you put the member against a certain profile. That's all. How do I generate member ID cards? It's a very simple, straightforward module within EasyLib. Okay, what you can do, you can simply go into the ID card module within EasyLib. And in this here, setup ID cards, you can design your entire ID card. I'm going to pull one of the ID cards. Okay, which is already designed here. Say, for example, Meritor, yes, card. It may be simple. You are getting the ID card here like this. If you have some other ID card, say Shadripuram Commerce College, this is the format you got it. And generate ID card, what you can do, you can choose this, whatever the format you want over here, okay? If you want 00001, this is the member data. I hope I'm entering the member data valid. Okay. So you got this over here, you can print it. And if you don't want this picture here, you want the picture to the side, no problem. Just move it over here. There is an option. In the design itself, you can say, okay, here, this is the format. You just move around left, right, play around, and then you can make it beautiful. The entire front side, back side, logo. I know many colleges are using thousands of ID cards are printed using the EasyLib software. And here, the barcode is going up. Why? Because placed wrongly. So what you do is you just go here one time. This one time you do the setup here, move it down. Next barcodes will be all perfectly coming as per the design here. So there is the same, once you design this, right? So you should be able to choose whatever format you want, So this is the format we got, I can choose this, I can generate the card as per the different formats, and then can barcode, QR code be used for member? We saw that, right? That barcode is automatically. QR code, that's an enhancement actually, we'll have to check when we are going to launch it here, but it's part of this schedule. Can members log into OPAC using their credentials? Absolutely, yes. For every member, the member master screen, if I go here, member master screen, master data, student master data, there's an option here, okay, by entry screen. There is a user ID password that you are maintaining here. And based on the user ID password, they will be able to log in. And there is a new enhancement in EasyLib that allows them to log in based on only their email ID. So they don't even have to remember their ID, password, member ID, nothing. They can just put their email ID and they will get an OTP. It will give the option to choose, okay, which college you belong to, choose that college. If the student is a valid one, it's going to display the data based on the whether email ID is already matched in the EasyLib database. So thank you to all of you actually, because all these ideas are coming from. Thank you. Okay. So, all right, to the next one. How do I import the members in bulk using the Excel? It's again very simple. So you just use the import screen over here and map it, import it. Can I update member details in bulk? Absolutely yes. There is a member data. There is a data sheet, member data sheet. What you can do is here, member data sheet. You can choose, okay, if you want to enter 001 to 002, if I choose, these many students will be listed here. Okay, all the students will be listed here. If you want, I can choose a little longer list. Maybe what I can do is I will choose a little larger data 001 till. Okay, so I'll just choose this data sheet. You simply go here, you choose the range of the, members that you want. All the 10, 20 members are listed here. If you want to member, the status, all of them, if you want to make it as active, and, at a time, you just make it active. All the 10 records will be at a time. This is a little, got to be very careful on these things because it's going to help you update a lot of records at a time. Okay, can I update member details? Well, there is one more option here in the member bulk update option. Is because all these 10 people, our status is active, we made it. But if you don't have the email ID updated earlier, you want to update it now. So the 10 people will have different email ID, right? So what you can do is you can create an Excel member ID, email ID, member ID, email ID, one Excel, only 2 columns. Okay. So what you do is you map only 2 columns. What is the first column? What is the second column? First column is obviously member ID. Second column is it's a password, department, subscription date, expiry date, whatever you want to put it, import it. The whole thing will get imported within a few minutes, or rather updated in minutes. How do I handle duplicate member records? There is no question of the member records being duplicate. There is because the member ID is unique. But still, in case if I have got multiple duplicate records, what you will recommend is that you go and return all the books of that duplicate member and then issue all those things to the new member. Okay, that's how you do that. Then how do I activate or deactivate member? Very simple here. In the member master screen, there is an option to maintain the status of that member, whether it's active, suspended, membership, expert, or a new one. What happens when a member leaves the institution? At that time, you simply go here in the member expiry date, subscription expiry date, you are going to put today's date, and you are going to make the status as membership expired. Unless you want to give the authority to the alumni. What you can do is when the students leave, right? When they are students, they are the general students or any students. When they leave, they are no longer students. You can categorize them as alumni. Simple. So that means you can use Easy1 system for EasyLib as your alumni management system also. Can I temporarily suspend a member? Absolutely yes. What you can do is you can maintain the status as active, but this expiry date you can put to today. So that way you will not be able to log in. Can I control what members can access? Absolutely yes, actually, because what the members can access is basically only the member portion only is allowed. Nothing else. Now, let me go into the security module. Security module tells you what all the library staff can do: accessioning, cataloging, periodicals, and other. But when it comes to member, only the inquiry portion. How does member module integrate with the circulation? We went over here. Member profile closely links with the circulation related rules. And of course, when the circulation is trying to send the email on the due reminder, it again refers to the member module to find out what is the email ID and sends the message to that particular email ID. How does member module integrate with OPAC? Because the OPAC login itself is based on the member login ID password or member email ID and the OTP again. Can members receive email and SMS? Absolutely yes. Email is already available for most of its. Those who are getting the 3 users and more license, it's a free. And those who are having only 1 user license, there could be some fee associated with that. And SMS alert, absolutely yes. There is a little DND approval that you get it. And once you get that, SMS is also possible. Can I send a bulk notification to members? Absolutely yes. There is a message over here. In the circulation module, there is an option over here. In the circulation, there is an option here. You can go here and then find out who are the students who are having the old books. There is an option to send a mail to everybody. You can send an email to it. Plus, there is one more option here. There is a communication module that we have got over here in this. Okay, study groups and communication module. You can have the different groups in the part of the different groups. So you can create one group, Karam group. Okay, these are the 10 members. And current affairs group, these are the 9 members. The student can join any group and then you can click on send a message and send it. Of course, the bill will be there because when you are sending the bulk emails, there will be charges, but that facility is there. You can send as an email, send as an SMS at a time to hundreds of people. What reports are available for members? Absolutely, there are lots of reports are available here for members. The member data here, the master data, member master data. If I take here, the most used report is the customized report actually, because customized report is the master of all reports. Because when there is customized report, you are building your own self condition. Whatever you want, you are building it here. Give me for this academic year, who are the students? Okay, within this academic year, who are the students in this department? Like this, you can build it. You can choose whatever format you want, all that. There's no master record. Apart from that, there's a customized statistical report here. You can get the data by department. You can get the data by course, branch. Many reports are available here. Can I track member activity of books issued fines? Absolutely yes. Here you can go here. There is an option in the circulation module that is going to tell you the usage levels by member. Okay, so as a member, how many times he came to the library, how many books he borrowed. Okay, so then let's go into the circulation module. I should be able to see that particular report for you, or it could be in the visitor module here that tells you member usage report. Okay, so that report definitely, probably that's in the visitor module. I'll show that. How do I handle lost ID cards? It's again a very simple thing. I can go back to your main the ID card screen that I showed. Just let a new one and issue. But if you want, you can do it. If it's a duplicate one, you can choose the new format called a duplicate. So that way the UPI will be printed at the top. How do I correct wrong the member details? Again, it's very simple. You just simply go to the member management screen, put the member ID, correct that. That's all. Can I merge duplicate member reports against records? Very simple. We saw that, right? So what you want to do is delete all the books that are not delete. Sorry, you are going to return all the books which are issued to the wrong member ID. Then reissue to the correct member ID. Okay. So then what you do is you maintain the other one as subscription expired. So that is how you can maintain this. You are going to remove that duplication. Okay, so now let's go into the circulation module. What is the circulation module in EasyLib? It's related to check-in, check-out, issue. How do I issue a book? It's very simple here. You just go into the circulation module. There is a main circulation screen. So you just put the, what is the accession number, the title, author, subject will come. You put the member ID. All the details of that particular member will come. And if you want to issue, you issue the book. That's all. Very simple as that. How do I return a book? The same screen. Okay, you can go here, you can click on it, and then you click on this return. You return. That's all. If you want to renew the same thing, you can go in here, return that, renew that particular. Okay. What are the issue limits and loan periods? It's again very simple. Depends on the member parameter. Okay, because again the member profile and the book category. These are the two that will determine how many books the students can borrow. How do I link books to members during issue? How do I link books to members? It's very simple, right? Here in this screen, you are seeing here. I close the screen here, circulation screen. When I go here, come on. Here in this, I put this particular book, and here I put in the member ID. Okay. This Rashekar is a student, and that way you're linking and you're issuing. Can different members types have different rules? Absolutely right. So the one student can borrow 5 books, the professor can borrow 30 books. So the students can keep for 2 weeks, the professor can keep for 2 months. Okay. How do I handle blocked suspended members? Okay, very interesting. The moment the member is suspended or it's in a subscription expiry state, we're not going to allow the issue of the book. It says sorry. How do I define circulation rules? Okay, you simply go into the member parameter screen and then you modify the Can I set different rules for different item types? Absolutely, yes, we saw that, right? For the books, the journals, for the CD, we can set all the different types. Again, for everything, you simply go into the this member parameter screen, and this is where you are going to enter all the data. By profile, you are going to enter, by item type, by book category, you are going to enter, and then my item type you are going to enter. Can I set different rules again? There are a lot of duplicate questions. Can I restrict certain items, books as reference only? Absolutely, yes. You know, whatever books you don't want to issue, right? You simply make the category as a reference. Okay. And in the reference, you can have the option like, reference books. Professors can borrow for, let's say, 2 days. Students cannot borrow. You can set it up that way. How are the overdue fines calculated? Again, it depends on this what you set up over here, in-house readings. Okay, you have put it 10 books, 10 books, fine is 1 rupee. Issuable books, 5 rupees per day. Why not? There is a 5 rupees. Okay, that's how you set it up. Every day that amount gets added. Can I configure fine rate? Absolutely yes. This is what we are doing on the screen. Can fines be waived or adjusted? Absolutely yes. When you are trying to issue the book, or when you are trying to renew the book, right? Or you are going to return the book, it's going to show so and so book has so and so amount which is overdue. So there is an option over here, circulation listing screen. Okay, so where are you? Circulation listing screen. Okay. In this, you are going to see, okay, how many books, current circulation, show me the due, it's going to show all the books that are overdue. Okay. So when you try to return this particular book, it's saying that, okay, so book is overdue, and this is the fine you need to pay. Fine, or at that point, you can pay the book. Fine. How do I reserve a book or hold a book? It's very simple. The student, when they log in, they can click on reserve. Automatically, it will be reserved for them. And if somebody else calls you to hold, you means the library staff, what you can do is you can go search and reserve. At that time, it's going to ask for which member. You put the member edit, and it will be reserved. How does the waitlist queue system work? It will hold the book for 1 day, 2 days, 3 days based on the parameter setup, and after that it's going to release it. How long is the reservation held? Again, it depends on 1 day, 2 day, whatever is set up. Can the system send a due date reminder? Absolutely yes. So there are multiple options over here. You can go into the circulation reminder screen here. There is an option SMS to all, send SMS, or email option. So you click on it, email will go. How are the overdue alerts sent? The same way you can send it. And there is an option, again, this is for the advanced users we are giving, there is an option called the batch EasyLib. That batch EasyLib is extraordinary. It's a very in-depth system which has got a lot of batch jobs that run in the night actually. For most of the librarians, we have enabled the manual send, but if you are an advanced library, you want that feature, definitely we can enable this. Can I issue multiple books? Absolutely, yes. What you do is you can simply go into this circulation module. There are multiple screens here. One of the options is you can put one book at a time. There is a multiple book issue return is also there. You can simply go here. You can, especially if you are using the RFID, right? Okay. So you just keep on putting this accession number, you enter this. Okay. Yeah. You keep entering all these accession numbers one by one, and then you say, okay, who are going to issue? Okay, and this issue, you just click on issue. If the person is authorized, you click on issue. That's all three at a time. This screen is especially useful in the when you are using RFID. Okay, you open the screen, keep all the 10 books and the member ID card there, and this whole screen comes up. Click on issue, everything. Okay, can barcode scanning be issued for issue return? Absolutely, yes. Most of the issue return happens through the barcode today. Okay, you just scan that, you scan the barcode of the book. What happens if the book is lost or damaged? Okay, what you do is in that case, you are going to change the category of the book is that, and that's it's no longer issuable. And if the book is lost by the students when you have issued, what you need to do, you need to say, okay, you need to take that as a returns and then immediately put it under the category saying that lost by the student. So that way, it will not show that indefinitely that the student has borrowed. If you don't do that and then directly make it withdrawn, it will still keep showing that, okay, so and so student has borrowed. So you want to accept that book, then you change it. Can I handle offline issue return? Absolutely. Fantastic question, actually. So we have got here one offline in the circulation module is there here. Offline circulation is useful in the rare case when the internet is not available, or you are holding a book exhibition outside, and you are simply noting in a pen and paper who all books have been issued to who all. What you do is you just issue those books, come back to your desk, prepare an Excel, and then import a text file. You import and normal issue, return, renew, whatever you want to do at a time. What circulation reports are available? That is also very exhaustive here. Circulation listing itself is one exhaustive report that will tell you how many books are due. Okay, if you want, all that it is there. There is a member due list report is there. Who all members have got what all books due. By department, you can get by profile, you can get by course, the branch, member type. By this date, you name it, it just goes very, very, very exhaustive. Then there is a customized report, there is a book analysis report, title analysis report, publisher-wise report, vendor-wise report, what kind of publishers are popular, what authors are very popular, all that kind of experimentation you can do. Can I track more used books? Absolutely, and there may be a direct screen also. The books are circulated more, so that will give you, or you can build your own report and then generate that report. This will see how many times, okay, 152 times, 28 times, 17 times. If you want to put a date range and get that data also. Can I track overdue items and then fines? It's again very simple. The member due list or the, we saw that circulation listing, there you can find each of the books overdue. How does circulation integrate with cataloging? We saw that, right? The category of a book has a direct impact to the how many books can be issued to what member. Okay. How does circulation integrate with OPAC? It's very simple because when the students log in right there, they are able to see whether that particular book is issued to them, if it is issued to them, when it is issued. What if, and they can also, if you authorize them, they can even renew online also by themselves. What if a book is issued but not returned in the system? It's going to, of course, show that this book is not at all returned. Okay, and if there is a fine, it will keep on counting as the fine. I have put it until a certain limit, then after that, it's not. How do I correct a wrong issue return entry? So what we do is this is an interesting question. If there is a wrong issue return, immediately you have to undo the things. Okay. If you have returned some other book, you issue that book again. If you have issued a wrong book, immediately take it as a return. Yes. Okay, so then let's go to the institutional repository, digital library model. Now 4:15, another 15 minutes. Okay, so here, what is the institutional repository digital library model in EasyLib? EasyLib is not just the solution for the physical libraries, it's an option for our entire digital library also. You have multiple options, EBT, EBC, EBQ, DIR, OP, OPQP. All of these are related to the ebooks actually. You can click on EBQ, the quick ebooks you are seeing over here. Or you can click on the EBC, that's going to display the books by different subjects, different courses, it's going to display. Or if you have a EBT, if you go over here, it's going to give you the by ebook type, question paper, theses, and all that things over here, handbook and all that thing. Okay. So I'm very happy to state that many libraries that you have put thousands of records in the institutional repository with EasyLib. Okay. Okay, so then what type of contents can be stored in a repository? It's very simple: handbook, ebook, question paper, newspaper, reports, question report. Your own publications, whatever you have done, your own videos also you can upload the video in the YouTube and then link in EasyLib. Actually, you can do that. Then who can upload the content to the library? That's an interesting question. We have three options actually. One is of course the librarian can upload the ebooks. Then you can give access to the select professors to upload. And if you really want, you can give the access to the students, but we don't recommend, because you don't want suddenly the students uploading a lot of data. But the option allows you can select the certain members. That member you can give the access to. Okay. What is the difference between IR and OPAC? Okay, institutional repository and OPAC. OPAC searches on the books that you have. IR is a part of OPAC because this is the OPAC, the whole OPAC, and what you are seeing in EasyLib, right? There is the whole OPAC over here. Then within that, there is the institutional repository. The difference between institutional repository and the digital library is institutional repository stores the content in institution. So that let's say if this is the PDF copy, okay, it is the book, physical book, and you have got a PDF copy in your repository, in your C drive. Okay, that you upload, that becomes a part of the institutional repository. Digital library, if the vendor has given you the link, it is accessible somewhere else. That is a part of the digital library. So that is the difference between IR and digital libraries. Both of them are part of the OPAC itself for the student. How do I upload a document, PDF, thesis, etc.? Very simple over here. You just go into the EasyLib here. You go into the digital library module within EasyLib. You click on it. There are multiple screens for you to enter this data, digital subscriptions. Whichever you have subscribed, that is one thing over here. If you have any PDF copies that you want to enter, you simply go here. PDF, this is the ebook, faculty publication handbook and all that thing. See the list. If you want to add a new book, you simply go and add the new book. Automatically, you get the next ebook number. So the title, author, subject is as per the Dublin Core standard. And if you have the copy of the book with you, you choose the file and then upload the PDF. And if you have got only the URL, what you do is you just put the URL. That's all. As simple as that. Okay. Can I upload multiple files for a single record? Absolutely yes. Actually, there is an option here. May not be in this screen. Maybe that is going to be in the next version, I think. What metadata fields are required during the upload? This again, what is in the star red color, that is what is required. Title, subject is mandatory over here. The rest of them are not mandatory. Just follow the Dublin Core standard. Can I save draft before publishing content? Absolutely yes. What you can do is there is a status actually. So, or you can put the issue date and available till. You don't make it available till tomorrow or 1 month. Then it will not be shown. How do I define metadata standards for repository items? By default, it all uses the Dublin Core, so you don't have to do much over here. Can I customize metadata fields for different document types over here? This is because it's pretty much it's all the Dublin Core actually, so we put it here. You can use that, and if you want additional customization, it will be happy to do, but there are only 2 customized fields provided here. Can I import metadata in bulk? Absolutely yes. There is an import facility here. Okay, use this import, digital subscription import is there, then there is the ebook import is there. Put your thousands of ebooks that you have got in Excel file over here, import all the data, and then take the help of our team members to open a ticket, which our team will get the PDF copies from you and then put it into our server. And that is how you can get the data. By the way, this what I'm showing you is the ticket opening system. Whenever you have difficulty, you click on the support and click on the new ticket, and you should be able to open a new ticket, and the ticket gets opened for your organization. Okay, how do I organize content into collections and communities? Okay, collect content into collections and communities. What you can do is here, there are different these fields that are available in the digital library here. You can categorize the book based on the availability and the things over here, whatever you want, by course, by home branch, by issue, section, and all that. If you want any additional things, there is an option, course reserve option is there actually. Course reserve that allows you to content, you can collection. Okay, so let me spend a minute on that. That is a course reserve, where is the course reserve virtual collection list. Here, what you can do is you can create a collection list. Okay, this is the book on advertising books. I am the owner. Okay, I created. I can add 100 books on that. So that is the collections. So that 100 book can be the digital books as well as the physical books or the journals or whatever. Can I create department-wise, subject-wise list collections? Absolutely. Go here simply. There is a course reserve you click based on that particular department. Can collections have access restrictions? Oh, this is a very interesting question actually. By default, most of the collections have open access. You can have it. But there is an option available here in the personal digital library here. If you see here, this one governs access, who has access, and whether it's published or not. Okay, so that way, if it is, there are 3 kinds of access. You can make it available to anybody. Second is only you can see, nobody has access. Third is by invite. Okay, suppose if you are uploading some material for the students to refer as a case study, the professor can create a personal digital library. Only the 10 or 20 students in that particular class, you can give the access. You use the communication module over here. The second year become students. If you choose that group, only the students of that particular group will have access. Can I restrict access to certain users or groups? You can, it's a positive oriented, so that means we can give who has access. Can I make some documents public, others private? That's what we saw here. Okay. So what you do in the personal digital library, right? You just don't give the access to anybody and nobody will have access. So you give access to groups. If you don't choose any group here, right? Whatever you upload, only you can see. How do I manage user permissions? Okay. How do I manage user permissions is basically, this is the students will have only access to view, nothing else. Okay. Only the creator has access to add, modify, data. How do the user search documents in the repository? Again, if you go here in the OPAC screen, right, there are multiple options, EBT, EBC, we saw that people can search based on that.
Can user search author title? Absolutely, yes, there is an option available. Does the system support full text search within the document? Yes, that is a new enhancement that has come up in 8.4. You should be able to put a detailed text in that and it will search on that. How does IR integrate? Oh, is that repeated question? Okay, yeah, it's already integrated. Can a repository item appear in opaque search results? Yes. Can IR integrate external system search NAV to show them? Oh, this is an interesting thing actually. What we have done is that there are multiple ways how your digital library can work. One is we have provided a lot of APIs within EasyLib. So any other library will be able to call the API to find out what is available in your library. Similarly, if you want, if they have opened up, you can take their data. Okay. And there is something called a federated search we have provided here. Okay, in this federated search, I'm not sure. Okay, so what you can do is if you put the cancer over here, the search what you want to search, and then you put in BMJ, it's going to connect to the BMJ and search the cancer related. The federated search. Okay. So this is what you saw. And whether you can read or not, that depends whether that particular article is an open item or a closed access. Okay. So this is I think it looks like an open access. What reports are available for repository usage? Again, there is a report available here. Within that, you can see the what books are accessed, how many times, all that. There is the access customized report, ebook access report, download report. All of that is available, which is going to give you data. Okay, who has accessed what, how many times, all that. Can I track download? That's what we saw. Okay. How do I manage copyright and access right? This is an interesting thing actually. Access right, we showed that. We showed that, right? Access right, if you don't want anybody to access, load it and don't give any access. Okay. And if you want everybody to have access, load it directly into the open access repository in the institutional server. If you want only some people to give access, under the personal digital library, choose which groups have access. Okay. That's how you can govern the access. Can I restrict downloading but allow viewing? By default, it's only the viewing is allowed, downloading is not at all allowed. Especially in the newer version 8.4, downloading is not allowed. Again, if you want it, there is a separate parameter that you set. Can I restrict? Okay, so this one, can users get alerts on new additions? Absolutely, yes. There is a batch job available. How do I handle large file upload? It's an interesting thing actually. What we do is to make sure that the server is not overloaded, we restrict usually each file to 3 MB or 5 MB. But if you have really large files, we need to remember one thing. If you are uploading some 10 MB or 20 MB file, upload will take time. Even downloading will take time. So students, if you ask them to download 20 MB, they will wait for 1 or 2 minutes, and if it doesn't upload, they not even read that. So the entire this will be not useful at all. So what we recommend is that keep the files under the manageable size. Okay. But if you really want higher size, no problem, we'll help you. Okay. And what we do is if you have really extra large files, we put it in a different server altogether. If it is, for example, videos, you put it in a YouTube. YouTube is almost free, right? So you put it, but that link you give in within EasyLib. So that way, the search is happening in EasyLib, but the actual content is residing on the YouTube. There in YouTube, you can make it like an open, or it can be non-listed, or it could be private, or anything that you want. What if a file is uploaded incorrectly? Very interesting. You can simply go here and replace that file. The same metadata remains the same. You don't have to update it again. The same file can be replaced. How do I upload or replace an existing document? Again, the same one here. You just go in the same screen. You go here and then choose the same file once again. Okay, whatever the file you want to upload, and you upload it, and then it will get updated. Okay, the same one here. So this one here. Let's pull that record and then put a new file here. That's all. As simple as that. Okay, this was the digital library. So what all we covered? Now only 4 minutes left. So we covered barcode, we covered cataloging, circulation, IR we covered, member we covered, opaque did we cover? Periodicals, I'm not sure. Visitor. So these two, right? Let's even if it takes 5-10 minutes, let's cover this. Periodicals. Periodicals, okay, what is this? This is a journal that you have subscribed. You are spending lakhs of rupees on the journals. EasyLib provides an easy ability to track all the journals that you have got in the library. Okay, how do I create a new journal title? It's very simple here. You just simply go into the periodicals module of EasyLib here. Okay, and you can create a periodical entry here. Or if you have an Excel, we can simply help you import one time. There's the 3 levels. One is the periodical header information. The second is the subscription year on year. Within that subscription, there will be so many issues actually. Okay. Then what is the difference between journal title and issues? Title is, let's say, suppose this is a journal, right? The advertising it is a journal. But issue number 1, 2, 3, volume number 1, issue number 1, volume number 2, volume number 1, issue 2, issue 3. Then after 12 issues, maybe volume 2, issue number 1, 2, 3. So that's the difference. How do I define the frequency? There is a screen that in the setup. We have defined already the common frequency like monthly, bi-monthly and all that. So you can add any more also. How do I create and manage subscriptions? Again, you simply go into the periodicals module here, and under this, you simply add the different subscription. Make sure that when you put the price, don't put the currency double. Okay, that causes the issues here. The moment you choose this rupee, right, it will come as one. But if you have choose US dollar, it will come the current 89 rupees that has come. But if you put a US dollar and then put rupee of Indian rupee 79, then it, you can see that it is becoming multiple, double amount. Okay. So you put the amount in the dollar. If you have paid $100, let it calculate automatically and give you 8,900. Don't put directly 8,900 because it will multiply 8,900 and 8,900, it becomes 7,92,000. Okay. All right. That's how you manage the subscription here. Next is, can I track subscription start date, end date? Absolutely, yes. There is definitely the field here, start date, end date, periodical predetermination. Thanks to all of you who has given the requirement. This is one of the most liked modules in EasyLib. How do I renew a journal subscription? What you do is you just go here, pick up the last year data, modify whatever additional information you want to modify, click on add again, the new year data gets created. Can I manage multiple subscriptions for the same journal? Absolutely, yes. What you can do is, there is somewhere there is a copy, multiple copies, how many copies you are getting. You can add that. Or if you have a different subscription, no problem. It could be one, could be from January to December, another could be from April to March. No problem, you can maintain it, not at all an issue. Can I manage multiple? Okay, this one. How do I link vendors to journal subscription? There is an option. So for journal, you have got it over here. And this year you are procuring from whichever vendor, EH Wheeler, you buy it. Next year you change it to some other vendor, No issues, you can add it. Can I track vendor-wise journal supply? Absolutely, yes. This is a very important screen here. There is an all serials information. Here you can see, simply let me click here, search. Is going to list out all the journals that you have got. Okay, what all has come, what all it has not come. What you can do is you can simply choose the vendor. Okay, choose the vendor, and then it's going to list only for that particular vendor. How do I record receipt of journal issues? So it's a very simple thing here. So you just go here, receivable generation and tracking. So here you choose whatever the journal, and let's say this is the journal, this is the subscription, and what has come and what is not come. If you get this particular journal, you simply go here, whatever has come. You click on this, it will move to the other side saying that this volume is issued. This volume is received. And by mistake, if you think that, okay, by mistake you have done, you simply click on it, it's saying that, okay, it's not issued, not received, so it will come on this side. How do I track missing issues on the screen itself? You'll see, okay, what all has not come. Sorry, this has come, what all has not come here. Or you can go to the other screen, right? There it will give you what is arrived, what is not arrived, what is the amount of arrived copies, what is the amount of not arrived copies. You can take a report, send to the message to the vendor saying that we have 10 journals from you. Out of these 10 journals, 8 of them are fully supplied, 2 of them have only partially supplied. These are the issues received, these are the issues not received. This is the amount of items received, this is the worth of items not received. Either you refund the money or immediately supply that money. Can I manage block volumes and bound volumes? Absolutely yes. What you can do is you can choose this. There is a different screen altogether for you to manage the bound balance. How do I delay the regular or irregular issues? No issues. What you can do is delayed issues. If you find that something new has come, you can directly go here, add whether if you have got it already for the irregular issue, you just go here, put what is the volume issue they have, what is the price, and add it. And if they say that, okay, these two are going to be merged and not going to be available, select that and then you simply delete it. That's all. Both of them will get deleted. It will not even show that, okay, so and so is not achieved. How do I raise claims for missing issues? You go to that particular report, all serials issued, and take the report, and then you can even group the report by vendor, by journal, and take it in HTML or an Excel, and then can I track claim status? Yes, exactly, you can do. How do I send the journals for binding? There is an option for binding the tracking the bindings here. You can send that particular journal here. Again, by the way, this what you do is you can issue the journal to anybody, right? Just like you can issue to the binder out. Okay. I'm running out of time, but almost one module completed. Even if it takes few minutes, I think. How do the journals integrate with cataloging module? Yes. Okay. So what you have to do is you have to define the catalog module. There you take the define and the type as bound volume. Okay. And add this bound volume there. Okay. In that bound volume, you mention what are the volumes issued. Can journal articles be cataloged in? This is a fantastic question actually. So there is something called article indexing within EasyLib. What it means is that you have got lots of articles printed in your news articles in the last so many years, right? You have come up with there is a article indexing, periodical indexing is there, content manager. If you have printed something, if you don't index, who else will index? Scopus will index some of these things, but if your own yearbook is there, probably you should index. So that is why we have given the article indexing feature within it. Can users search in OPAC? Yes, they can search. Users issues, they can see what reports. There are multiple customized reports are available. You can search. Can I track subscription cost and usage? You can do. E-journals you can access. Again, you can go to your subscription module is there here, subscription dashboard and your subscription details. You can see what all you have subscribed. You will be able to these are particular results. So current subscription, what are the subscriptions, past subscription, all that. Access link to e-journals, you can save it here. In the alerts, you can save subscription expiry you can get. You can get the missing alerts. Alerts also you can get. See that discontinued journals, what you do is you just stop creating the new subscription for that. Okay, but the old one will be there. Okay. Title changes or mergers of journal. This is an interesting one actually. What you do is usually we recommend you when the title changes, put the old namo and multiple options are there. One of the option is that put the new title in the bracket, you put the old title. That is one option. Or second, when the new you create the second one, the new title as totally as a new journal. Okay, and the old one will be still the previous. Okay, that's what matters. Okay, now coming to the last one, we are going to cover the visitor management modules. Okay, visitor management tells you how to track who all visitors are coming to your library. It's a very simple thing. Why this is required here? What is the use? Because this is going to help you track who all are coming to your library. What is the usage? You can get the track of, okay, how many students are coming, how many the professors are coming and what is the usage level, all of that you can see here. Say for example, if I see visitor, let me see here. Okay, in out dashboard summary. Okay, the summary. Now the students who are inside memory, now details. You can see, okay, every day, yesterday, day for how many people came. On monthly, you can get this precisely. That's the visitor management module. How do I record it as a visitor who comes over here? You can simply go to one of the screens. You put your member ID and it will enter saying that okay, Rashika entered the library. When somebody else comes and comes the library, he also scan it and his data is entered. If one of them goes out, it enter again, it will get out. That's it like that. And there are options to track even the visitor also. They can put the phone number, all that data is tracked. How do I record? This is how you record. One of these options you can use. What details are captured during visitor entry? You are capturing what is the member ID and then what is the purpose of that. And if it is a general visitor who is not a member, you are capturing his mobile, phone number, address, and what is the purpose of it. Okay, come back. What details are captured? Can I use the barcode scan? Yeah, of course, yes, you can. Definitely, you can scan their ID card. It will make an entry. Okay. How do I record visitor exit? Again, they'll scan automatically go out. Or at the end of the day, you click one button. There is an option. Everybody in the library will be made at the time exit. What happens if the exit record is not entered? No problem. At the end of the day, you have an option to exit all of them at a time. Can I issue visitor pass or token? Absolutely yes. You can design an ID card for the visitors actually, paste the barcode and then give it to them. Can I print visitor slips or badges? Yes, absolutely, definitely yes. Again, this will integrate with your the ID card where you define an ID card as a visitor ID and then based on who has come and that can be issued. Can I classify visitor, student, guest, visitor, vendor? Yes, you can. Okay, basically here you are putting those details in purpose. Can I restrict entry certain users? Yes, exactly. You can do that. Can I blacklist some vendors, visitors? You can do that because basically if there is a member ID created, you can allow that. If somebody is a membership expired, the moment they put their member ID, it will say that okay, it's not valid at all or expired. Can I track frequent visitors? Yes, absolutely. There is a beautiful report available over here that will tell you that usage, library usage report actually. Library usage report, if I see here, this will tell you the data of how many students, how many people are coming to the library on a daily basis. Member ID, member ID. Oh, this is the student. Let me take it here. Student, staff. Okay, yeah. So this gentleman came to library 5 times. Okay, OPAC access he did 90 times. 8 books are issued to him in this period. Returned 7, renewed. OPAC search how many times? How many downloaded? How many? Subscription finances how many? Useful links how many he referred? This is the beauty of EasyLib because it's a combined integrated system. It refers to all these modules and then gives you one report. Okay, what reports are you can write out? Can I track peak visiting hour? Yes, definitely. Yes, there is a report for that also. Generate monthly visitor reports. Yes, there is a report also. There is so many of the reports are available here. I'll go fast in a few questions. How do I handle visitors without ID proof? You just use that phone number and then allow them entry. How do I correct wrong entry, exit record? There is an update facility also over here. If there is a wrong entry or whatever reason, especially if you are uploading the data from pen and paper system to EasyLib, and then you find that something is wrongly entered, you can but it will keep track. What if a user forgets to check out? No issues. At that time, the librarian has access to mark the person. Okay. All right. So I think we covered a lot of these things. Questions actually, there are only, is there one more module left? OPAC. That is a very opaque. So I'm not going to take too much time on this. OPAC, let me tell you, this is the online public access catalog. Students will be able to simply go and then log in by the user ID or the email ID. Do user needs to search? Of course, it's up to them. What users can do, they can search, they can reserve, renew, see what books they have borrowed, when did they borrow, what they can request the new books, they can see what courses they are enrolled, what their professor has asked them to read through the personal digital library, and many additional things you can avail that over here, including in the Easy One application, that the fees module, timetable, attendance, those are there. But with respect to the library, all of that self-help related library portions. How do I search a book in the OPAC? No problem. Just go to the OPAC homepage, search here. You can search and title author as an advanced research search. You can all these conditions you can build and search. Okay, why book is not appearing? Of course, it's a withdrawn book. Can I filter? Yes, definitely all of this. You can filter by year, availability, type, and all that. Okay, let me skip, and then go. How does OPAC integrate with circulation module? Because if it is issued out already, it's going to say it's already issued here. Is there a mobile app? Yes, it's already totally mobile friendly. You should be able to open mobile. Do users get the alerts? Yes, absolutely they get. Can the library customize OPAC interface? That is a very interesting question actually. I'll tell you, this entire thing itself is customized. The way you want, you can customize it. If you don't want the search bar here, no problem. You can put it elsewhere. Featured books are not required. You can remove it. Make it shorter, no problem. If you want this empowering institution easily be means all that's not required, no problem. You can be removed. These are all the different blocks you can plug and play. Just like a Lego block, you can be able to place and then make the OPAC the way you want it. Okay. How does OPAC integrate, reflect real-time observability? Yeah, this is one important thing. OPAC is already real-time actually. Okay. As of now, it's real-time. And only if the library is extremely large with about, let's say, 1 crore, 2 crore book, then we are looking at how do we, reduce the time. At that time, it may be 2 different systems. But as of now, when you have up to 10 lakhs books we searches, that's 1 million books, real-time available. What if OPAC shows wrong availability status? No problem. The students have ability to open a ticket. They also simply can click on a new ticket. They can open a service request to the librarian. Librarian will get an alert saying that so and so student is searching for so and so things. The information is wrong, fix it. The librarian will get the alert. Here, okay. What if the users cannot log into OPAC? Again, they can approach the librarian through the mail at the bottom. There is the option, right? How to reach the OPAC and all. How to reach the librarian. How to handle slow or no search results? Slow search results, usually that is usually if it is the librarian will be able to work with our team. So slow, if it happens, it probably means that the log file are full. Our team will monitor usually and then make it fast. Otherwise, manually will clear it. No search result. This is an important thing actually. When the student is searching and the results are 0, librarian has a screen which will show him that so and so books are 0 actually. So let me show here. This is so important. Here, there is an option. So there is an option to see the search history. Okay. OPAC usage report, search results. Somewhere there is a screen that will tell you how many books have been external search data, OPAC search bar color. Okay. So this is ebook search, OPAC search report. Okay. So if somebody has searched and their book is not available, it's going to show that. Somebody searched on that operation by Roy, the book is not available. So the librarian pick up the phone, call the CSPL 0165 and ask them, hey buddy, you are searching, this book is not there. Do you want me to procure it? Because this is what is the pattern driven equation. So when you do that, very confident that the usage level will increase. The librarian, the students will really like the library because the library is working for the students. Yeah, the Dr. Raghunathan says, right? Libraries, books are for the users. Every user, his or her book. You are making it as a reality. So that's about it. It's about 1 hour, 40 plus minutes we have covered in this webinar. Let me see if there are any questions. I'm going to take those questions right now. Otherwise, we are done with the basic FAQ, and I'll be happy to take the next section on additional questions you may have actually. So as of now, I see that most of the questions were earlier on, they were sent. I don't see any new questions on this. So we are going to conclude this webinar. Thank you very much for joining, and our contact details are very easily searchable. You just go to our homepage, easylib.net, or you are going to see our details at the bottom. This is our team members' numbers. My number is there. My email is there. Call any of us. We'll be happy to work with you. Thank you so much for being our customers. Thank you so much in helping us collate this frequently asked questions data. We hope it has been really useful to you. And this recording is going to be available on the YouTube. You can look at it anytime that you want and explore it. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day. Bye for now. Then I can close it.